Yo, what up, my people? It's your boy Bobby J, and we are live on ZeroCapping today. With me here today, I have my brothers in the building. You know, the Kochi, the live experience guys, and all of that. Right here with me, I have from my left hand side, I have the man. We have Joseph in the building. And on my far left there, we have IBK. I believe you guys are familiar with the
Yeah,
with the
we're
$20
back.
guy.
We're back. Clean and better.
I'm
you
the
know,
new guy.
and it's your boy, Bobby J. I don't need too much intro. Thank you guys, all our new subscribers. People that are viewing our videos, following, likes, your comment. We really appreciate. So today, we're just going to be discussing some matters, all like about culture. Like basically, we're going to be talking about culture shock. As an immigrant, when you immigrate to another country, especially migrating from Nigeria to Canada, is a total different experience. Like the culture is different. Like it's just like one, like it's different. Let me just put it that way. So there are some things that you experience and you be like, what am I doing wrong? So those are just like the difference in culture. So basically, we are just going to be sharing our experience about some culture shock today, and how we overcome them, what we've done in the past that have made us realize that okay, this is the way things work here. So today basically we are going to be going uh through the four steps of culture shock in every woman's life. So we have the honeymoon stage, we have the adaptation stage, and we have the frustration stage, and finally we are going to be talking about the acceptance stage, which I believe is like the stage that most of us are today, like people in the building today. I think we are in the acceptance stage now. We know how these people think. We know like the way to hack to their thinking and all of that. So like, yeah, my first question today is going to be like yeah, for IBK, like ever since you moved to Canada, what is your biggest culture shock? Something that happened to you and you're like, oh my goodness, this is something totally different from the way we do things back home. I believe Nigeria, right?
Yeah, 100%. My first culture shock was definitely, I'll say, a working system because I think that's the general statement, which means coming here, the weather was a culture shock, big one.
Oh, absolutely,
Right?
absolutely.
And to be honest, man, I just noticed that everywhere look wider and like open, like when you're driving coming to the country, from the airport, you just say space there for everybody,
Yeah, yeah, you are very right.
Oh yeah. So to be honest, like it was pretty like weather was a big one. The fact that I was coming here and obviously my family was behind, even though I did have a sister here, but I'd not seen her in like a couple years. So it was like, yeah, we're still, we're family, but it's been a while. Right? Coming here obviously being broke too. That was a culture shock. When you realize everything is billing and so far you've always lived on your parents' money.
Oh, I thought they say when you go abroad, the money fall from the
To be
sun and all
honest,
of
man, when they try pick up for ground, self, you know what grow.
that. But you
So
never pick and finish.
I say when they find out, if they know, they should let us know.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, just
Yeah.
say like, what is your biggest culture shock ever since you got to Canada? You
Okay,
know.
so my biggest culture shock, when I no laugh, but it's funny. My first time coming to Canada was Calgary International Airport.
Okay.
As soon as I step outside, everywhere is white. It was in the winter. I run back. I was like, inside fridge? Inside fridge? How?
Pass this weather.
So I called my mom. I was like, are you guys sending me here to die or to study? They said, you must adapt. So this is culture, adaptability. Anywhere you find yourself, that is also trained me, make me who I am, which adapt and learn. So my biggest shock was like coming into a country that have different system, different people, the way they talk, the way they do things, the languages they use, and the word they use, which is so their cultural behavior was so different from where I'm from.
Okay. Yeah. So as I was saying today, I will just try. We should go uh through the four stage of culture, and we can share our experience between those four stage, and also advice on how we get through it. The first one, like that I would like to talk about, is the fourth stage of culture shock, which is the honeymoon stage. So this is the definition for the honeymoon stage. The first stage of culture shock is often overwhelmingly positive, during which travelers become infatuated with the language, people, and food in their new environment. At this stage, the trip or move seems like the greatest decision ever made, an exciting adventure to stay on forever. I will say that is absolutely true. You'll be like, when I first moved to Canada, no matter what I've done in the past, I was like, oh my God, this is one of the biggest decisions I've ever made. You know, then talking about the food and the language, I think that is a big culture shock for me. Firstly, the food. When I got to this country, I was so lucky that I was living with my cousin. Shout out to the Kuku family. They accommodated me, provide food and housing and everything. And I was lucky in the sense that they have been in this country for a long time. They know all the African stores and all those things. Most of the food we eat is African food. So I won't say that was a problem for me. That is not more of a shock to me. But when I now realize that there are because along the line, then I made some friend that were just, they came to this country themselves. They don't even know African stores or nothing or food. Then they were like, the day I told them, oh, I eat African food, they were like, oh, really? Ever since I got here, I've been eating McDonald's, KFC, all this crap. I was like, oh, really? There's African store. There's all this. Then when I told them about all this, like, it was a shock for them. Like, oh, like, so I can get this food problem out of the line. And talking about the language, oh my God. We all think we speak English, but there's level to English. I'm not even talking about the accent yet. There's levels to English. I remember when I got to this country, there was one of my friend's girlfriend, right? So I was just teasing her. She wore this sweatshirt the other day. And I was like, oh my God, this is a nice sweatshirt. Can you dash me? She was like, sorry, what do you say? I was like, can you dash me? Like, I was very young when I moved to this country. I don't even know if dash is English or if it's broken or whatever. But I know that if I tell someone in Nigeria, can you dash me this thing? They know what I'm talking about. Then she was thinking about it. I was like, oh my God, how can I explain dash again? What definition can I give to dash? Then I was like, oh, I mean, can you give me your. She was like, give you. Like, why should I give you? Oh boy, this is problem. So like there are some words that are different, the way they use them here and the way that we use it back home.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
When did you know your honeymoon stage has ended?
Oh, trust me, I will say, because when I got here, I came to school, right? Then like it's not even I resumed school immediately or close to immediately. I interact with people, like I know that I'm going to be in this long country for a very long time. So I have to adapt with share. Then I will say my honeymoon, trust me, I'll say it's close to 3 months. I know it's a long time, but like I will say that it's close to 3 months.
Yep.
Yeah, what about you?
For me, my honest stage, like when I knew it was the beginning of the end, was when I'd start like scratching my head on like school fees for next semester. When you have to work and like you have to provide 8K in like 4 months, and then your paycheck is like 1.5 a month. So you're wondering.
Where's the money going to
Where's
come
the
from?
where's the money gonna come from with no student loans?
What about now? If you own a property, you have to
Yeah,
think. You have to think about your
I,
mortgage.
I understand what you mean about that being a shock,
Yeah.
because like when you're in Africa, right, we all relent like at some age, your parents ought to cater for all your needs, including your education life. You are not schooling when you were in Nigeria. I don't know if you go to any higher institution or not, but of course, it's your parents' responsibility, or as to some age, or to a lot of people, it's your parents' responsibility to cater for your school fees and all of that. But like a semester here is like 8K, as you said, or even
Then
more than that now.
2014.
Like where are you going to see $8,000?
And for the most part, like the
And where are your
problem,
parents going to see that money? Let me put it that way.
the funny thing is, like, for the most part, African parents try, they have the money, is that exchange rate, right? 1 million is like 2,500. Like, that is so unrealistic. Like, how can I have a million in Naira, but then it's,
Okay.
It's a token.
Do like this.
it's dead
Okay.
next to nothing.
Imagine the honeymoon for me
Yeah,
was first time attending class
yeah.
here in Canada. First of all, I have to like be looking at the teacher mouth when she talk, which is very like I was asking myself, will I be able to pass this course? I can't even understand
What she's saying.
how these people talk.
Yeah.
Because she's talking fast. She said so. The first topic, the first day of my life was biology, and biology 103. So we're doing fundamental biology. So I was like, she was just talking. Rah, rah. I was like, brother.
Yeah, just to add to that, right? So like, I in this country, right? There's one thing again that I noticed, right? Immigrants, or let me say, the newcomers, you are the one that have to listen attentively to the way they speak, and you also have to compose yourself for them to understand you. I remember when I first came to this country, I put too much work in actually trying to listen to them to get what they are trying to say, and I also put too much work in trying to communicate back to them. But what I realized that is that they don't put much effort in trying
Yeah.
to understand you. Like if you say something, they won't even try to
A
to
good
listen
example
attentively to
would be
you
your
to
name.
understand.
Would be your name,
No,
right?
you know?
When you mention your name and it's
But-
like an African name, they don't know how to say it back to you. They
So-
don't try.
Exactly,
Like,
and they don't even try. Yeah,
This is it. See, I have to come in on that one. See, what happened? This is their country. You understand? They are
expect you
used to. They are used to talking to like same way. They are used to like what like when you were born into something. Like some example, somebody born into wealth. You used to living inside wealth. So it's gonna be hard for him to like change. You understand? Or move to understand people. People are not the same level or category.
But do you know where that comes in now? Canada is a country that believes in inclusion. So it's like they believe in the fact that they are accepting everybody
See.
from around the world. So they themselves should also put
they
in that
should put some
effort.
effort.
wait.
To actually
share that
Wait,
same
but let me
energy.
ask you a question.
Yeah.
You say Canada themselves. That is a Canada as a country. Have you
And
asked
the
what
country
about what
need the people
wait,
in it.
Yeah,
Wait.
people living in it. Yeah.
Wait, have you asked yourself what about the people inside Canada?
So that's what I'm saying.
How
need
they
to-
seeing it?
Yeah, they need to put in more effort.
They need to put more effort.
Yeah, because
see,
do you know? Let me give you there's a rule, right? I like around 1960, 1970, right? There were so many less people not working, and the economy was not growing that one person was taking care of 7 people's retirement. But now, because of immigration has actually plugged that problem of Canadians naturally don't work hard. It's not that they don't want to, but it's a lot of factors, right? Now it's like because of immigration, one person takes care of 2 like retired people. But back then it was 7. So it was like literally if you're working, you're being stretched thin in terms of taxes were higher and you don't even get your taxes back like we do as much now.
I'd like to move on to the second stage, which is the frustration stage.
Okay.
So basically, what that means is frustration may be the most difficult stage of culture shock. It is probably familiar to anyone who has lived abroad or who travels frequently. At this stage, the fatigue of not understanding gestures, signs, and the language sets in, and miscommunication may be happening frequently. Small things, losing keys, missing the bus, or not being able to easily order food in a restaurant may trigger frustration. That is very correct. And while frustration comes and goes, it is a natural reaction for people spending extended time in new countries. So at this frustration stage, I would say, yeah, it's actually frustrating, you know. And my own personal experience is the part of ordering food at restaurants. When I first got to this country, oh my god, just because of the language barrier, I don't even go to the store to order food. You know, like for example, going to Tim Hortons, McDonald's, you are going to tell them that you need a triple coffee like 10 times. Sometimes you don't even know what you want to order. You have to look at the menu, try to understand whatever. I ended up ordering a lot of food that I can't eat just because of the language barriers. So like I think that's one of the biggest frustration stage. Like people not actually understanding what you are trying to say, and like even like you trying to say some important thing. And talking about gestures as well. Like there was one experience I had when I first got to this country, right? So that day I was in school, right? So we had a lunch break. So everyone went out of the class and all. So as I was coming back to the class, I opened the door. Then like I saw my lecturer coming from behind me, but like it's like a couple feet. I just opened the door, like I went inside. Then this lecturer called me. It was like, hey. Then she was like, didn't your mom taught you how to hold doors for people? I was like, what do you mean hold doors for people? Like, why should I hold the door for you? You are like far away. Then I was like, oh, sorry, they didn't taught me that I need to hold door. Oh, then she was like, oh, okay, yeah. So like when you are the first person and you see people coming behind you, you need to hold the door for them. These are like, hold it. I was like, okay. Then along the line, as time goes by, I see that when I want to go into place, if someone is ahead of me, they will hold the door for me to come and all of that. Then I realize that, okay, this is their way of life. This is the way they do things. But it's not like that in Africa. We see this kind of thing as maybe some superior people trying to go in, then their drivers hold door for them and all of that. That's our understanding. That's what I see it as from where I was coming. But getting to this country and I realized that, when people are behind you, you have to hold door for them is a culture shock to me.
My own culture shock about frustration is for Nigeria, where we're from, or where I come from.
Yeah, I'm from
If
Nigeria
somebody is
too.
talking to you, if somebody is talking to you and you're looking at the person eyeball to eyeball, especially someone who is older than you, it means disrespect. But for here, like in Canada, when I move to Canada or when I come Canada, I discover here if they are talking to you, you're looking down or you're looking elsewhere, is disrespect.
It's like you're not paying attention.
It's like
to
you're
them
not
or
paying
something.
attention or you are not communicating with whoever is talking to you. So that is a culture shock, like big frustration for me. I have to learn a way, like I have to force myself. I was frustrated because every time I always want to look down,
Yeah,
the person
yeah.
who thought,
Like
this guy is not serious. He's not communicating. And secondly, going to McDonald's my first time, somewhere, I reached there, I was like, what is that thing that caught? I was looking for French fries. I don't know if French fries. Because I thought if it's an English country, there's nothing like French. What do you mean by French fries? So I say fries. Everybody was like, what is fries? I was like, one person.
Me, I don't even know it as fries then. It's called chips,
called
because in Africa, then when you go to all those KFC, you say, oh, chicken and chips, chicken and chips.
Yeah.
Then that was what I said to them when I got to McDonald's, when I first got here. I was like, oh, can I have some chips? They are chips.
Chips.
Bro, I have to explain what I mean by chips. That's frustrating.
Like,
Because like it's pretty much the same thing, man. They are both potato and they are the same thing. But what they call them or what we know it as in Africa is chips. Then coming to this country, chips is entirely something different, man. If you need chips, you go to 7-Eleven or Shell, you get your chips there. Then you going to McDonald's and asking them that you need chips, they will look at you and like, what's this one saying?
Another frustration for me too is they like you trying to talk with you try to talk with people here, especially the Canadians. they keep saying, you say, what? Say again.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Like,
Yeah, that will even
bro,
make you
I'll be asking
lose hope of trying to mingle with people or communicate
yeah,
with people.
they'll be like,
That's
oh, you
that's
say,
right.
what did you say?
know?
What,
Yeah.
what?
Nobody likes to say something like 2 or 3 times before you actually get what they are trying to say.
Me, my own is their own perceived. My frustration with like, it wasn't really a big one, but it's more like how other people treated me is like perceived meekness. So like when they try to like be nice, like smile at you, I'll be like, why are you smiling? What's funny?
Oh my
You
God.
know, like they're
That's-
trying to be very like polite. But I feel like I'm like you said, right? Same thing. Like if you want to pass by someone now, I actually like this because I learned this from them, right? They're like, if you want to pass them, you can be like, can I just sneak right past you? You know, before it's like come out for road or like I won't pass.
Like-
Yeah.
like-
but you know, it's like
I
they
sneak
have
by you?
like one style of way that you're just like, this is just you're lying to me, you're deceiving me with this niceness.
See,
You know, sometimes they will even tell you, like, oh, they'll be like, oh, JB, can I steal that from you? I'll be like, why will you steal my thing? It simply means, can I borrow it or something? But they don't use all those words there, you know?
you know,
like,
the one that frustrates me most coming from Nigeria, we say, for Nigeria, nobody smile for no reason.
oh, God.
So we're always serious. Like in our own culture, we're always serious. We always get where we're going to. We are busy. That is our own culture. But for here, anybody who's like, if you say anything to somebody, even though the person don't even understand what
they
you
will
say,
smile,
you
yeah?
just give a smile. So I was frustrated. Is this smile real or
Oh,
fake?
Me, yeah,
And you know
100%
what?
fake.
You know what? That smile, at some point, when I first got to this country, before I know the real shit, you know, it sounds like a mixed signal for me. You know what I mean? You're in school, you are walking through the hallway. There's a lady facing you. You guys are going to, you know, pass by each other. Then you see them smiling at you, like that big smile. Then you be like, girl, like, is this girl trying to say something? Because we are not even communicating. I don't know you from anywhere. We haven't met before. Why are you smiling?
Even
You know?
yeah, another thing too. Sorry, just to add to what you're saying too is how people believe that before you make move on someone, like a girl, right? You have to first establish
Some
a faraway
cordial
contact.
relationship.
In my head,
Exactly, man.
I'm like seriously. How many people are in the same place that I'll be establishing contact with one person?
You can't even meet someone at the
Because-
bus station
because-
and trying to, you know, ask them
Yeah.
out and all those things.
Because they expect you that
harassment,
you should
know?
not walk up to them. That's the expectation.
You know-
But then it's like, how do you mix? How do you connect? I would like to. Another thing I've also learned is they said that if you're, I'll just say the word. If you're fine, you can make any move. If you're not fine, they'll call it harassment. So it's so stupid because then you're like, am I well packaged? You know?
I think what you said,
Yeah.
I have something to say about that as well, right? So as time goes on, when I got to this country, I understand that people, like, you can't just walk up to people in some settings and be like, try to chat with them, and the chat leading to you guys exchanging contact and all of that. You know, they think it's some form of harassment and all of that. Something happened to one of my guy, right? When he first came to this country, that guy, man. Nigeria people, you guys like she, no? So this guy is a married guy, oh. So when he first got to this country, he was working at you know, all this apartment building, the concierge counter and everything. So he has this co-worker that they work together, right? So, like, you know, when you see someone and you just compliment someone, hey, beautiful, hey, this, hey, that, then this guy used to tell that girl these things, you know. Then at the end of the day, this guy actually tried to talk to the girl, get her phone number, you know, them talking and everything. Then the next day, this guy went to work and they said, oh, sorry, we have to terminate your contract, this, that. Someone filed an harassment. The guy was like, harassment? I don't touch anybody. I know what's harassment.
Usually
This-
work, I'll not lie
but-
to you. It's
but
very
This
biased.
guy lost that job. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
But they get
You know,
different-
but like, imagine you being in Nigeria, calling a lady, hey, beautiful, or even trying to ask them out. Then the girl will now go to HR and tell them that
Okay,
they
It's
are.
It's annoying because the girl will make moves on guys that they are co-workers at work, and
Without
then it's
any-
supposed to
but-
be taken as is okay.
You said something about sometimes it's about what kind of person you be or the class or whatever. I think that's right too, you know.
The word is packaging. That's what
You know,
it is.
because
So
like
if
there
you
was a from my understanding, I've noticed thing for a long time that like for Nigeria, you pull up in your whatever car on the side of the road, you talk to a girl, collect number, this and that. But I know that in this country, that is something they can even file charges on you as.
Bro, you go
But
prison
there
for
was a
it.
day I was with one of like my big bro. This guy drive the biggest Mercedes Benz, and everything. Then we were just going out. Then we just pull up at this all this bus stop sign. Bro, this guy reason with this girl normal, bro, and everything was well, flowing. Then I come say, sure, no be this thing where they say they know fit do for this country. Then I realized that
The thing, like, I have to tell you about this thing you said. Stop up on a bus stop, talk to a girl or about a car or anything. Or calling cops on you. See, in this area of cultural aspect, personality also included. Some people will understand you're trying to mingle. You're trying to get to know them. They will not go. But some people, that's why in Canada, I will not tell you, according to research, 80% of people in Canada are crazy. We're all crazy.
Oh yeah, bipolar is the word.
You understand?
Bipolar
We're all crazy. So they
The
do
weather
some.
makes it
So
bipolar.
they do some crazy things. Imagine you talk to somebody, you both discussing. Oh, who are you? This is it. Next thing, cop shows up. You're so person. You're harassing. You'll be like, but we're just discussing.
Exactly.
But the person.
Like, why can't you say to the person's
So
face?
exactly.
So-
And that's the
Yeah.
thing again,
Be like,
man.
I'm not-
in this
I'm
country,
not
bro.
enjoying the- like,
even
that's
they
why-
won't, they will never say anything to
They
your
will never
face,
say.
man.
That's what I'm saying.
They will-
I'm not even, that one is even easy work. Imagine when you're neighbors with people that are like opposite of you, right? Let's say you're making noise. They'll not say
They
anything
won't
to
even
you.
say- bro.
Unless-
there was a day, I went to the farm, right?
Yeah.
I was not the one that went to the farm because I didn't mean I was the one. I would have done all the necessary things. So I sent one of my brother to the farm to get a full lamp for me, right? So they brought it home without cutting it.
Yeah, okay.
So and we need to make some food, right? So I just did some small cutting outside with my small axe and all, right? Bro, the next thing the cops just showed up. I was like, fuck. Then I went to talk to them. They were like, oh, sorry, someone calling and file a noise, whatever. I was like, noise? I was like, oh, we are not making noise, this and that. It was like, oh, are you? And thank goodness, when he came, I was no more outside with the meat and all. I was like, I don't know, man. Oh, like, then it was like, okay, are you doing something that I was like, oh, I have this from the farm. I was just, trying to break it into pieces. Then it was like, oh, maybe you should stop that, this and that. I was like, oh my goodness. Naija, even if you dey make noise, your neighbor go at least come to your door, say, mama, if I you, I beg help us reduce this thing, or this thing they disturb us. Bro, no one told me that, okay, this thing that you are doing is disturbing us. The next thing, the cops just show up.
So
These are some things that if you don't understand their culture and the way they act, it's going to be a big shock to you, and you'll be like, oh my god, like what's happening?
But wait, this is where I tell you it's about personality. Some people can actually come, walk to you.
That's true.
Oh,
it depends on people.
This
too,
one, this
right?
one.
As you said, at least 60%, 80% of people are crazy and blah blah blah. It's going to be a very rare situation before you will see someone that will actually come to knock on your door and try to reason with you as a woman being, or a lady telling you to your face, oh sorry, I won't like to continue this conversation.
Yeah.
Can you please excuse me? It's a simple thing you can say,
Okay.
And as a responsible guy, they will understand, oh okay, I'm sorry, they'll take their leave, but you will still be laughing with us, be doing laughing, and the next thing you go down and say, okay, they don't call cops on you, man.
This is it. Everybody, it's just like say cops, they give you ticket and be laughing at you. So no, that is the culture. Everybody here try to be polite, even though when they don't like you. You understand? Even though when they don't like you. Okay, see, this one happened. We're in class. We're studying how to fix something, right? So the guy I was working with, instead of telling me, bro, you're doing the wrong thing, he went to the office and reported me. So they kicked me out.
Your own failure.
So instead of telling me, say, bro, this is how you do it, he went on Go Street and reported me. So they kicked me out. But I was working with the other guy. When I do something wrong, he can't say, bro, you do the wrong thing. Don't do it like this. This is how you do it. So this is about personality. Some people have what they call understanding, that relationship, and is ready to like work with you and guide you. But so example now for girls, see, average 80% of Canadian ladies, they don't have that human. They don't know what you feel. They don't know what you're going through. So that they believe that that's why they can call cops on you without no
I believe
thinking.
they think
they
think
don't have
you should
human
know.
feeling.
They think you should know.
Yes.
The right and wrong
So-
thing. But like some people are just even in this country for
Yeah.
2 months or 3 months.
I even feel like
So-
yeah, people
like-
do it. Now that I think about it, people call cops on you so that they can build a rap sheet, like a history, because you know cops document all these things, right? So
yeah.
they could be like, oh, we've gone to this house, they reported this guy 15 times.
No.
On like noise complaints, stuff like
No,
that.
say,
yeah,
the-
yeah.
the-
There are
the-
some
the-
people.
so-
Yeah, of course,
Let
man.
me give you an example now. For me, in my house, I have over 12 noise complaints in 18 months. So it's like I have one every 2 months to a point that once it passed 10, that like if it happens again, right? Now we are going to, that's the condo, not even calling police. We are going to fine you like $150. We'll add it to your rent for every single time that now they call you out. But like at the beginning, that person said, or that person coming to me,
See.
the person was reporting me to build my rap. So now we're moving to number 3. That's the adjustment stage. And I'll just read out what it says here. Frustrations are often subdued as travelers begin to feel more familiar and comfortable with the cultures, people, food, and languages of new environments. Navigation becomes easier. Friends and communities of support are established. And details of local languages may become more recognizable during the adjustment stage.
Talking about the adjustment stage,
Yeah.
that is a big one as well. You know, adapting to the food, the language, and
Cultures, yeah.
most especially that community aspect. That is
Yeah.
a good this thing for adjustment. So like, exactly.
Yeah.
Talking about food, like I remember, as I said, when I came here, I was with my cousin and all. We have good food, African food and all. But like as times goes on, I find myself in situations whereby I still need to get some food outside. You know, even if it's snack or something. Sometimes you go to school, you spend like the whole day in school. Maybe you are preparing for an exam or something. Of course, you can't take amala to school. Or me, I do that sometimes, you know. But like, you know, not all the time that you'll be taking amala. And, you know, you still have to buy things. So like, this one is no hiding. When I was in Nigeria, you know, as I said, like I went to Nigeria last year and a lot of things are changed now. You know, the place is posh and all right now. And when I was in Nigeria, I don't even know what pizza is. You know, me, I'm not Ajebota. So like I don't know what pizza is. So when I got to this country, I found out like one of the most popular, you know, like fast food or whatever, it's pizza, you know. Then they bought pizza in their house and they told me to try it. Bro. I couldn't even eat pizza, bro. It was like all this abba this thing in my mouth. You know? Like I was like, no man, this is not for me, man. You know? But like today, bring whatever kind of pizza, you know. I will be eating it and I will be saying yummy, yummy, you know. So I believe that's a form of an adjustment, you know. Like you just have to adapt to some things, you know. So again, like some fast food, man, you won't even know how many fast food I know in my head now, you know, like from different kind of countries that like I feel comfortable eating. When my sister first got to this country, sometimes I take them out, I order some things, they'll be like, no, we can't. This is a way. This is flour. Like, yo, this is vegetable, eating healthy and all. When I was in Nigeria, right, the only vegetable I knew was the F4, you know, the normal vegetable that we all. But in this country, you will see different kind of leaf that are edible. You know what I'm saying? So, like, basically, those are like some form of adjustment too, you know, adjusting to the food and all of that. And about the community aspect as well, like, you actually seeing people that you guys have something similar in culture, it's a good form of adjustment, you know. At least they'll tell you, okay, this is the way things are done in this country, this is how you can get opportunity, you know. Like there are a lot of, when I first got to this country, there are a lot of things I knew that it was through the word of mouth, you know. So like, and that's with the help of the community, you know. I have a Muslim community that I go to, you know, the Asalatu, the program. There's a lot of opportunity. They will enlighten you about things, and they will also keep you close and let you know where you're from. You're a Muslim, like you can still practice in this country, even though there's no mosque that wake you up in the morning to let you know that okay, it's time for salat. You know, they still tell you things like where you can go to know all this thing. So yeah, I believe like community do a lot in actually trying to adjust to
Because
a
they've
new
been
culture.
in that
you know?
situation before too.
Exactly.
So the cultural aspect,
Yeah, for
like
adjustment.
this acceptance or adaptability, my own was communication. So I was able, like, before when I came, it was hard for me to catch what they're saying, the word they use, and the languages and how they put it. So as the things started getting like, when I started understanding them, communication, I know how to use their own tone to reply them. So in a tone, there's different type of moon. They have monotone. In here, like in Nigeria, we use all kinds of tone without not knowing what they represent or how to use it. Here, if you talk monotone to somebody, it means you're disrespecting. But for Nigeria, you can talk anyhow to somebody. Like
Yeah, as
where
much
we're
as
from,
communicating,
nobody
you
cares.
know, about
Like
it.
to communicate, to give the message, you can go loud, people can understand. But here, if you go loud, it means disrespect. So once I started understanding all those things, thank God. Another thing that helped me was like going to school.
Education. I was gonna say that I
Education
think that's the best way you can ever
give
grow.
me like there's what they call, we understand English, right?
Yeah, very well.
But there's what they call brush up, which will help you to understand more of
Their
what
English,
more of what you're
Localized
going
English.
into, the
Yep.
kind of culture you're going into, or the kind of things you see. Here, especially professional work, your occupation, they have the way they talk, they have the way they do things. And if you don't understand all those things, communication will be like a big problem. So, but if you're able to get that basic one, which is simplicity, which is communication, that communication
you can go
was
far
what
with it.
made me like subdue so many things, like reduce so many things. I was able to start understanding their culture, the way they talk. Even when somebody was talking to me, I don't have to look at the person's mouth to understand what he's
What they're
saying.
saying.
You understand? So, which another thing that helped me like start getting familiar of the culture of the people and start getting knowing how they do things.
So basically, like the best part of your adjustment to their culture is like
The
going to
communication.
school and the education.
Communication.
Yeah.
Communication
And,
was the best part. Because if you can communicate with somebody, it means you're giving the person the clear message or the
Yeah,
clear
of course,
picture
man.
of what
I,
is.
I saw something online the other day. There was this lady. She just moved to Canada, so she went to the store. She wants to get a eater, like for the house and all. Then the girl was like, where can I find eater? Then the people were like, what do you mean eater? They called like three people. The girl was already feeling so embarrassed. Like, what are you guys doing? I say I need eater. You know, they won't try to reason with you like okay, but at least you are communicating, you are speaking English. Of course you actually need something, but like what is it that you need? We can't understand what you mean by eater. You know what I'm saying? This guy was like feeling. So there was now another guy they now called. I think he said it to the guy like 5 times or so. Then the guy was like, oh, do you mean eater? I know the girl will be confused, like which one is eater again, but like that's actually the way they pronounce it here, and for them to understand. If you go to Nigeria now, you go to store and you say, hey, can where's the chef for your eater? They'll be like, what's this one saying?
So-
Are you for me or what?
You
But
know-
that in this country it's a different thing entirely.
When for me, adjustment wise, you guys have actually said the bulk of things, which was asking questions. But the truth was, I was someone that I always like. Let's use the word like I needed that word, so I'm confident in their answer from someone that I was sure that knows what they were saying. For example, when it came to school, I could go to my classmate, but I'd rather go to my prof. Same thing with thankfully I had a sister. So anything immigration in terms of renewing my papers, all of that, I'll go to my sister and obviously government of Canada website rather than just anybody. Why? Because those people, not only are they telling me something, but I trust what they're telling me. So I think that was just my own like like anybody can tell me anything, but if it's not coming from someone that I trust, it's hard to trust. And like adjustment for me was just, to be honest, the more I had money in my hand, the more I was happy. The less I had money, the more I was back to frustration stage. So now for number 4, that's the acceptance stage, and I'm gonna read on it. Generally, though sometimes weeks, months, or years after wrestling with the emotional stages outlined above, the final stage of culture shock is acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean that new cultures or environments are completely understood. Rather, it signifies realization that complete understanding isn't necessary to function and thrive in the new surroundings. During the acceptance stage, travelers have the familiarity and are able to draw together the resources they need to feel at ease.
Okay, so this acceptance of a thing, right?
Yeah.
There's a common say who said, if you can't beat them, you join them. So you move to a culture that is different from you, and you know you'll be here for long. It's not like you're thinking of going back. So only way to like adapt or accept, you just have to accept it for you to be able to like learn their culture, and blend with their culture. So acceptance is one of the important things, because anywhere you go, it's same thing you see. It's just like I went to Ottawa, example. So I got there, any shop I go, bonjour. And I was wondering, like, is all the black people in Ottawa speak French? You understand? I start asking myself a question. You ask me first, are you French? So it got to the time, I have to accept it. They believe that all the black people there speak French. You understand? So that's one thing where this acceptance comes in. See, I say as acceptance comes in, now we're in Canada. We are here. We are working here. We have family here, right? We have to accept their culture. And what? And move along with their culture. Just like a moving train. You join the moving train, you keep going.
I'll add and say that acceptance, like reading what was written here, right? It says like it's not about like now you don't need to know everything.
Yeah,
you don't
it's
need
not
to understand
about- yeah,
everything.
it's still a learning
right?
process.
But like the good thing is you are not as reluctant to learn. Which is why
you move
yeah.
from other stage,
Yeah.
the honeymoon, the frustration, and
Yeah.
all of that. Then you accept now that okay, this is a different culture. Now I have accepted it, and then I can walk
I
towards
have to
it.
go with
And
it.
whichever situation you find yourself to, right, you can recognize, okay, right now I'm in my honeymoon stage. Right now I'm in my frustration stage.
stage.
Oh, right now it's the accepting stage, but I have to go back to adjusting. Because clearly what I probably learned, I need to even build on that.
Okay.
And you are right too, right? Like the foundation here, there's nothing wrong with it. It's actually solid. What we actually do is we bring flavor. We bring color.
So,
to the
yeah,
country.
as
So
one-
now it's like it's our creativity that's gonna like actually now make it enjoyable for us.
So,
Coming from what you said, it says this does not mean that you fully understand the process of what. Like I'm like 100%. That is certain, you know. And talking about it might take you like months to get to your adaptation stage. I'll say it took me years, you know,
Years, yeah.
because like it's a long thing.
it never
you
ends,
know,
though.
is that it says it there, you know,
Never
it
end.
doesn't mean that you are fully, you know, at your comfort zone, but like, yeah, like at least we are able to, you know, go down the steps, and our viewers, our listeners, like, do you know what step you had, like in the culture shock? You can share with us, you know, we can also discuss it in the comment section, you know, and also like talking about you know, the acceptance stage. Like I believe it is during this stage that people actually accept that this is the culture I'm into now. Then when they actually go back to their culture again, like it looks strange to them because they have accepted another culture already. They are now
So,
part and parcel
do like-
of that culture, you know. So like this is the acceptance stage, as you said, is not something
So-
that you can fully say, okay, I'm done with this culture now, I know everything about it. It's something that it's a continual process, Yeah, to round up the topic for today, guys, thank you so much for watching. We actually really appreciate you. You guys keep us going. We're gonna bring more topics, more exciting topics to you in the future. So today we just talk about some culture shock, from immigrants. So if you have any culture shock that you're going through and you need some help in actually trying to adjust to it or try to fit in the settings, you can jump in our DMs. We can share our experience with you and all. And don't forget to subscribe. It's ZeroCapping Podcast on Instagram, and our YouTube channel is also ZeroCapping Podcast. And this is ZeroCapping, undiluted, on the soft, uncapped, and always exciting.
Yeah.
See you guys next time.
I'm just gonna add one thing, and I'll say that like when you do need help, seek help. Even if the first 99 people say no, that one person that will say yes will go a long way for you. And because you seek help, you won't be by yourself. Most immigrants, the problem is loneliness and finances, which is things that can be fixed. So please don't commit suicide. Don't enter depression.
My final word.
Yeah.
We are not professional.
At all.
We are not professional. We're just talking according
God
to our.
knows you.
Yeah, at least we're talking our own experience.
Yeah.
And everybody go different culture. So whatever you're going through, just keep going. You don't give up. Especially culture. Culture is hard.
The tough gets going. What's that
You
saying?
got to keep going.
As the going gets tough, the tough gets going.
So
No
that's one
cap,
thing.
no cap.
And
no
when you
cap.
make it in life, bring the money our side for all this advice.
Yeah.
It was nice sharing.
Yeah,
Popo, bumbo
we're
clap.
out.
Oh, thanks, man.
We're out. Thanks.